Welcome to Book Summary Podcast, your gateway to personal transformation. Each episode delivers big ideas from the world's most impactful books on mindset, productivity, and success, all in just a few minutes. Ready to turn knowledge into action? Let's get started.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that touches every single one of us, yet often feels, well, shrouded in such complexity and conflating advice. Mastering your money for true financial freedom. You know how conversations about money can often get as intense as, religion or politics?
Oh, absolutely. It hits our nerve.
It really does. And it's often because everyone has an opinion, right? A personal tip or what they claim is the answer.
Yeah, you hear a lot of those.
But as our sources suggest, that advice, it rarely offers real lasting help, especially when it comes from experts without a proven track record in their own financial lives. We've all felt that frustration, haven't we? Sifting through endless, unproven advice, just searching for that genuine breakthrough.
That's a really insightful point. And what's truly fascinating here is how much of that struggle, that feeling overwhelmed, comes from feeling completely in over your heads.
Right.
And our source material suggests that's often not accidental. The financial system, in many ways, it can be deliberately designed to confuse you. Designed to confuse.
Yeah, subtle nudging you, perhaps, to cede control to professionals who, despite their best intentions maybe, might actually benefit more from your confusion than from your clarity.
Wow. Okay.
So this deep dive, it really aims to cut through that manufactured complexity, providing you with a genuine shortcut to being truly well-informed, kind of giving you an insider's view into a world that's often kept deliberately opaque.
Okay, so our mission today, and this is tailored specifically for you listening, is to extract the most potent nuggets of knowledge and insight from, well, an incredible stack of sources. Specifically, excerpts from Money Master of the Game. This is a profound exploration into what the world's greatest financial leaders are actually saying about taking back control of your financial life.
And we're talking heavy hitters here.
Oh, yeah. We're talking conversations with self-made billionaires, Nobel laureates, financial titans like Ray Dalio, Jack Bogle, Sir John Templeton. Real masters of the game.
The people who've actually done it. Exactly. We'll explore their timeless wisdom and equip you with surprising facts and deeply practical strategies. So get ready to gain knowledge quickly, thoroughly, and hopefully with plenty of aha moments, all without feeling overwhelmed by that information overload. Let's begin with the fundamental why. Why are we so profoundly obsessed with financial freedom?
It's a deep drive, isn't it?
It is, and our sources highlight that the motivation, it really extends far beyond just accumulating wealth.
Right. It's not just about the money itself.
Not at all. The author's personal journey, for instance, is deeply rooted in this obsession to uncover strategies that could, immediately change the quality of people's lives.
That's a powerful mission.
Isn't it? And this core belief has propelled him to connect with and impact over 50 million people through his various programs. He really champions this idea that success leaves clues.
A learnable path.
And his particular drive, it intensified dramatically during those dark days of 2008.
I remember that time well. Scary stuff.
Wasn't it? That was a time when the global financial system nearly melted down, threatening the very foundations of security for millions. And that experience, it solidified his commitment to empowering everyday people to fight back against a system that, for so many, feels inherently rigged against them.
Yeah, you saw people lose everything.
He witnessed firsthand how both barbers and billionaires alike lost homes, savings, opportunities. And this profound connection to that widespread suffering, it became the fuel for his relentless pursuit of solutions from the true masters of the financial game.
And connecting that to the broader landscape of personal growth, knowledge is really only valuable when it's not just understood, but actively applied.
Right. Knowing isn't doing.
Exactly. The core truth here, reiterated by these financial titans, is that success leaves clues. And those who achieve at the highest level, they're not just lucky, they're consistently doing something differently.
There's a method to it.
There is. It's about recognizing that while, very few people start with little or nothing and become financially free, this isn't due to some exclusive secret. It actually suggests a common learnable path, accessible to anyone willing to walk it.
So it's not about luck, it's about strategy.
Precisely. Discerning underlying patterns and diligently applying proven principles. And this leads us to a crucial question. What's the ultimate goal of financial freedom itself?
Yeah, what is it really about?
It's profoundly about cultivating an extraordinary quality of life, where money functions as an enabler, right? Rather than a restrictor. It allows you to fully experience life, as Henry David Thoreau so eloquently put it.
So more than just dollars and cents.
Much more. It pushes us to consider a holistic view of wealth balancing emotional, relational, intellectual, physical, spiritual well-being. The real trap, our sources caution, is mastering one form of wealth, say financial, at the expense of all the others.
That's a huge point. True abundance, then, is much bigger than just the bank account.
Exactly. It encompasses far more.
Okay, so here's where we start peeling back the layers. Often, the biggest hurdle for us, for anyone really, is just feeling like this is too complex, or maybe this isn't my expertise.
That feeling of being overwhelmed.
Right. And the sources make this compelling argument that the financial system is, quite frankly, designed to be confusing.
Intentionally so, they argue?
Think about it. When you encounter a medical term like iatrogenic deaths, it sounds incredibly arcane and intimidating, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely opaque.
But it simply means an inadvertent death caused by a doctor or a hospital or an incorrect or unnecessary medical procedure. It's basically a $100 word for a relatively simple, though tragic, concept.
Right. Needlessly complex language.
And the same intentional obfuscation, this deliberate complexity, applies directly to finance. This intentional design, our sources argue, pushes us to give up control to the professionals, who then reap enormous fees by keeping you in the dark. You're led to believe you need highly specialized, esoteric knowledge to navigate it all.
When, in reality,
The core principles are surprisingly straightforward once they're demystified.
that's a powerful analogy. And it brings us to the next logical step. How do you effectively navigate this maze, then?
Yeah, what's the path through?
The answer, as presented by our sources, is a simple 7-step system. It's about understanding that investing your way to freedom isn't confusing at all once you're equipped with the right guide and a clear map.
Okay, so there is a map.
There is. And the overarching objective here is to truly empower you to take control and level the playing field, ensuring that extraordinary financial opportunities aren't just tapped into by a privileged few.
Because these strategies aren't just for the super rich.
Not at all, according to the sources. They emphasize these aren't exclusive strategies reserved for the ultra-wealthy, but rather universally proven methods that anyone can access and rigorously apply. As Lao Tzu wisely observed, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Our goal today is to make those initial steps crystal clear and highly actionable for you, enabling you to become a true insider who genuinely understands the intrinsic rules of the game.
Okay, so if we're talking about that first crucial step for you, listening right now, what is it?
The starting point.
The most important financial decision of your entire life, according to our sources, is astonishingly simple. It's deciding what portion of your paycheck you get to keep.
That's it. That's simple.
Sounds simple, right? But this goes beyond mere saving. It's about the fundamental principle of paying yourself first.
Ah, okay. The classic advice.
But it's classic for a reason. It means consciously setting aside money for your future self before you allocate it to any other expenses, bills, or desires. It's about consciously choosing to step off that seemingly endless 9-to-5 conveyor belt and deliberately walking the path toward genuine financial freedom.
Making it automatic.
Exactly. This dedicated freedom fund is vividly described as your new money machine, a tireless engine that can run around the clock 365 days a year, working relentlessly for you, powered by the unmatched exponential force of compounding.
That compounding effect is key.
It's a foundational decision made once that sets in motion compounding effects that will benefit you for decades to come.
And this brings up such a critical perspective on how we value our resources, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Our source is called trading your time for money. Just about the worst trade you can make.
Wow. Why is that?
Because while money is always replenishable, right? You can always earn more. But you can't get more time.
That really hits home.
Doesn't it? This insight powerfully underscores the urgency and profound importance of this initial decision to pay yourself first. Many might immediately react by thinking, look, I'm spread thin enough as it is. Every penny is accounted for.
Yeah, that's a common feeling. I can't afford to save.
But the counter-argument from these masters is incredibly powerful. We can't afford not to save. Think about the compelling examples they give. Theodore Johnson, who ran a personnel department at UPS, committed a full 20% of his income to his Freedom Fund.
20%.
20%. And eventually accumulated over $70 million through disciplined investing, stock splits, sheer patience.
Incredible. From a regular job.
Or the remarkable Osceola McCarty, a washerwoman whose profound penny wisdom, just saving diligently, led to her donating an incredible $150,000 for a scholarship fund to the University of Southern Mississippi.
Wow. These aren't Wall Street titans.
Not at all. They're powerful, real-world examples of profound diligence and unwavering commitment to this singular principle. So this raises a vital consideration for you. Are you beginning to truly see how the silent, relentless power of compounding can work for you, even with just a few small, consistent actions?
Even small amounts add up.
Massively. Even as little as $40 a week, the sources show, can equal $500,000 over an investment lifetime, if consistently and patiently applied. It's staggering.
Okay, let's shift gears now and turn our attention to the first colossal myth that, well, pervades the financial world. The widely held idea that actively managed funds can consistently beat the market.
Ah, yes, the siren song of the star fund manager.
Exactly. You've heard the promises, you've seen the glossy advertisements featuring these supposed geniuses. But our sources, drawing directly on the profound wisdom of figures like Jack Bogle, the visionary founder of Vanguard,
A true legend.
they unveil a stark, undeniable reality. Bogle, who was born during the Great Depression, wrote his senior thesis on mutual funds at Princeton and never forgot the blunt advice he got as a young stock runner. Nobody knows nothing.
Straight to the point.
Isn't it? And this core insight, coupled with his unwavering commitment to the average investor, led him to conceive and create the very concept of the index fund, which, remarkably, was initially dismissed by many on Wall Street as like a joke or a foolish experiment.
Hard to believe now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's a crucial piece of history. And what's truly striking here is the undeniable data that validates Bogle's vision.
What does the data say?
It says that owning the market beats 96% of all the mutual fund stock pickers over a sustained period. 96%.
Wow, 96%. That basically means trying to beat the market is mostly futile.
For most people, over the long term, yes. It directly challenges the pervasive marketing hype that aggressively encourages active management. An index fund, like those offered by Vanguard or Dimensional Fund Advisors, allows you effectively own the entire market, say, all 500 stocks in the S&P 500, for as little as 0.14%.
Okay, 0.14%. That sounds tiny.
It is. That's just 14 basis points, or 14 cents for every $100 you invest.
Yeah.
So when we zoom out and connect this to your broader investing philosophy,
Yeah.
it means for most of us, the goal shouldn't be to pick individual winners, which is largely a game of chance influenced by emotion and speculation. Instead, the truly intelligent approach is simply to align yourself with the market.
Just own the haystack, not find the needle.
Exactly. Bogle often emphatically stated that investing success is like 95% luck and 5% skill, sometimes even pushing it to 98% luck. It makes a compelling and pragmatic case for just mirroring the market's performance.
Okay, that makes sense. But then this is where the plot truly thickens, right? Because the often hidden fees associated with investing can and do amount to what our sources call the world's largest skimming operation.
Oof. Strong words, but often accurate.
What you typically see, like the advertised expense ratio, is chillingly often just the sticker price presented in those glossy marketing materials.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. Our sources meticulously expose that there are more than 10 potential fees lurking in mutual funds, from the obvious expense ratio to the less obvious 12b1 fees.
Which are basically marketing fees you pay.
Exactly. Trading costs, soft dollar costs.
And sneaky one, brokerage commissions covering research you might not even need.
Redemption fees, account fees, and many, many more. These seemingly small charges, when compounded over years and decades, can stealthily eat up 60% of your potential returns over time.
60%. That's staggering. It's like, as you said, trying to climb Everest in flip-flops. You're fundamentally handicapped if the fees are too high. They're a silent, relentless drain.
So what's the real long-term cost then?
Well, the sources offer a really compelling, clear example. Imagine 3 friends, Jason, Matthew, and Taylor. Each starts with the same $100,000 investment, growing at a consistent 7% annual rate.
Okay.
Now, if Jason pays 3% in fees, Matthew 2%, and Taylor just 1%.
That doesn't sound like a huge difference, 1 or 2%.
It doesn't sound like it. But after compounding over a long period, Taylor ends up with nearly twice as much money as her friend Jason. specifically around $574,000 compared to Jason's $324,000.
Wow, nearly double just from a 2% fee difference.
It's exactly. This seemingly small difference in annual fees can translate into a dramatic impact, practically meaning working a full decade longer before achieving financial freedom. Or even the fundamental difference between your money lasting your entire life or surviving on government or family assistance.
That puts it in perspective.
It does. Jack Bogle himself warned that by paying excessive fees, you are giving up 50% to 70% of your future nest egg. The practical advice is undeniably clear. You must lower your total annual fees and associated investment costs to 1.25% or less on average to truly escape these insidious fee factories.
So 1.25% or less, that's the target.
That's the benchmark they strongly suggest. Landmark studies confirm these costs statistically destroy financial freedom.
Okay, next myth. Have you ever gazed at a mutual fund's advertised returns in a brochure and thought, wow, if only I had actually gotten that?
Yeah, the advertised number looks great, but your statement, not so much.
Exactly. Well, our sources reveal that the grand illusion isn't over yet. Wall Street's math magicians, as they're provocatively called, employ a clever trick known as time-weighted returns for their marketing materials.
Time-weighted returns. Okay, what does that mean?
It makes their performance look impressively better, but critically, it fails to reflect your actual real-world experience as an investor. It's like a master magician's sleight of hand, drawing your attention away from where your money is subtly disappearing.
Okay, so that's a crucial distinction for every investor to grasp. What's truly insightful here is understanding the difference. Time-weighted returns assume your money is invested in the fund from the very beginning of a measurement period and stays there continuously.
Which almost never happens in reality.
Right. In reality, you, like most investors, are making ongoing contributions throughout the year, maybe from paychecks into a 401k or adding lump sums. You might contribute more when the fund's doing well or less when it's down.
Yeah, your actual investment timing varies.
Exactly. This real-world approach, which accurately accounts for your ongoing contributions and any withdrawals, is called the dollar-weighted return. That's the actual return you get to keep. It's the number that matters for your personal financial growth.
So the number on the brochure isn't necessarily my number.
Precisely. The core point is the mutual fund advertises a specific return. It's not the return you actually earn. Jack Bogle illustrated this simply. The difference can be substantial. In one example, a fund might advertise a 6.31% average time-weighted return over 81 years.
That was great.
But the actual dollar-weighted return for investors might have been only 4.31%. That leads to a massive difference in accumulated wealth over an investing lifetime. Your perception of how well you're doing might be skewed.
Okay, good to know. Look for the dollar-weighted return. Now, this next one feels really important. Follow the money. Always follow the money.
The classic deep throat line. Very applicable here.
Isn't it? Our sources highlight a critical distinction that most people don't even know to ask when seeking financial advice. Is your financial advisor a broker or a fiduciary?
Broker versus fiduciary. Huge difference.
Most people, intuitively and understandably, believe their advisor should have his best interests at heart, right? And the advisor likely sincerely believes they are helping you.
Sincerity isn't the issue necessarily, it's the legal standard.
Exactly. Sincerity alone doesn't always align with their legal obligation or maybe lack thereof. Many advisors are simply operating within a framework that rewards them for selling specific products.
Products that might pay them a higher commission.
Rather than being legally compelled to find the absolute best solution for your unique situation.
And that brings up a foundational question for your financial well-being. What is the actual legal obligation of your advisor?
Right. What's the difference?
A broker is often termed a registered representative or wealth advisor. By definition, they work for a company that is not required by law to do what's in your best interest. They operate under what's called a suitability standard, meaning the investment just has to be suitable, not necessarily the best.
Suitable isn't the same as best.
Not at all. They are typically rewarded with commissions for selling certain financial products, which inherently creates conflicts of interest. In stark contrast, a fiduciary, typically an independent registered investment advisor, RIA, is legally obligated to act only in your best interest.
Only in my best interest. That's the key.
That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
They have to put your needs first, without receiving commissions or kickbacks from specific product sales. A sobering 2009 Morningstar study revealed that 49% of the managers owned no shares in the fund they manage.
Wow. The chef doesn't eat his own cooking.
Exactly. This fundamental conflict, powerfully illustrated by the Enron scandal, where major Wall Street firms kept recommending buying stock even as the company hemorrhaged cash just months before its catastrophic bankruptcy.
That's terrifying.
It can be extremely dangerous for unsuspecting investors. As Dr. Jeffrey Brown, who advised the White House on this, stated so plainly, these are really people's lives we're talking about here at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely. So the advice.
Seek out a fiduciary advisor. Ask them directly, are you a fiduciary? Get it in writing. Or utilize services like Stronghold Financial, mentioned in the sources, which explicitly provide comprehensive, transparent analysis and access to true fiduciary advice.
Okay, fiduciary standard. Got it. Now let's talk 401k. We often see the 401k as the ultimate default retirement solution, right? The cornerstone.
It's become the standard vehicle for most people.
But our sources reveal a fascinating and somewhat unexpected history. What began as a loophole for highly paid executives to sock away more cash quickly became a massive boon for companies.
How so?
It allowed them to effectively shift all the risk and expense to the employee, moving away from the employer-guaranteed pension plans of old.
The shift from defined benefit to defined contribution.
Exactly. You might remember the excitement in the 80s and 90s as billions flowed into the market through 401ks, fueling those bull markets and creating an illusion of easy, inevitable wealth. But this fundamental shift means you are now solely personally responsible for your entire financial future.
A burden that, for many, proves overwhelming due to the complexity and those hidden costs we talked about.
That's a critical historical context.
It is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture for you, it means you're now unequivocally captain of your own ship. Even Alicia Munnell, a top retirement expert, former Federal Reserve employee, admitted to making serious missteps with her own retirement savings, openly saying that money is long gone, despite her deep expertise.
Wow, even the experts struggle.
It powerfully highlights that giving individuals freedom often inadvertently provides the illusion of control without the necessary knowledge. The sources vividly demonstrate how insidious hidden fees can absolutely devastate a 401k account. One calculation showed switching to a lower-cost plan could result in over $1.2 million going back to my family and my staff, rather than being siphoned off in fees.
Over $1 million just from the lower fees?
Potentially, yes, over a lifetime of saving. This raises a vital question about your 401k. Are you truly aware of the fees you're paying? It's worth noting the Department of Labor is actively auditing high-fee plans now, making business owners more liable.
So what can people do?
Well, the sources introduce powerful solutions, like the Save More Tomorrow plan, an ingenious behavioral strategy where you automatically increase your savings rate each year, often when you get a raise, so you barely feel it.
Save more without the pain. I like that.
Exactly. They also highlight valuable tax advantage options like Roth 401ks and Roth IRAs. You pay tax today, but then withdrawals in retirement are never pay tax again. Incredible long-term tax efficiency.
Tax-free growth and withdrawals, that's huge.
Huge. And for business owners, specific vehicles like solo 401ks and cash balance plans offer ways to make significant tax-deductible contributions, dramatically accelerating wealth accumulation. Check out resources like America's Best 401k mentioned in the sources for help analyzing your plan's fees.
Okay, target date funds, TDFs. Marketed as the ultimate easy button. Just set it and forget it.
The default option in so many 401ks now.
Right. Over 41% of participants use them, partly thanks to a 2006 law making them the default, protecting employers from liability. They aim to solve real problems, like employees putting everything in company stock.
Like the Enron disaster, yeah.
Exactly. But our sources present a compelling counterargument, citing economists who outright called the studies promoting TDFs heavily flawed, suggesting maybe industry influence biased the results.
Interesting. So what's the catch with PDFs?
That's a critical point to consider. What's truly insightful here is that while TDFs did address some prior mistakes, like that overconcentration in company stock or just splitting money equally across random funds, they simultaneously introduce new significant risks.
What kind of risks?
The sources highlight a sobering fact. In the 2008 market downturn, the most conservative target date retirement funds fell on average 17%.
17% for the conservative ones.
Yeah. And the riskiest fell on average a whopping 39.8%.
Ouch. That definitely contradicts the set it and forget it promise of safety.
Doesn't it? It reveals their inherent vulnerabilities during extreme market volatility. Dr. Jeffrey Brown noted that while TDX prevents some mistakes, even just holding cash in a 401k can lose value due to fees and inflation.
So it raises a paramount question for you. How much are you relying on a default option without truly understanding its vulnerabilities, especially its potential for big losses when the market turns rough?
Ignorance isn't bliss here.
Definitely not. As the sources powerfully stress, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is pain and poverty in the financial world. Understanding these mechanisms is absolutely key to protecting your future.
Okay, let's talk annuities. They often get a truly terrible rap, right?
Oh yeah. The word itself makes many people cringe.
And for genuinely good reason. Many are indeed terrible investments, loaded with high fees, opaque structures, ridiculous surrender charges.
You've probably heard it. Annuities are a bad investment. And for many products, that's true.
But our sources introduce a powerful and much-needed reframing. When structured correctly, certain annuities can transform from a problematic investment into something profoundly valuable, what they call income insurance.
Income insurance,
Yeah.
like a private pension.
Exactly, providing a guaranteed lifetime income stream. This shifts the whole perspective from a low-return savings vehicle to a powerful tool for achieving deep financial peace of mind, especially in retirement.
That's a crucial distinction. So it prompts us to ask, what's the fundamental difference between the bad annuities and the valuable ones?
Yeah, how do you tell them apart?
Dr. David Babbel's study offers fascinating insight. When annuities were described as providing guaranteed income for the rest of your life, over 70% of people found them attractive.
Oh, okay.
But only 20% found them attractive when framed simply as a savings account with low returns. It's all about the framing and the actual structure.
So, focus on the income guarantee.
Exactly. What's truly fascinating here is the concept of longevity insurance. Imagine a one-time deposit, say $100,000 at age 65. That could yield annual payouts of nearly $64,000 starting at age 85.
Wow, that's a significant payout later on.
It is. It frees you from the daunting task of making your savings last for an unknown 30-35 years. Instead, you focus on just funding 15-20 years of early retirement.
Okay, I see. It protects against outliving your money.
Precisely. Our sources then delve into fixed-indexed annuities, FIAs. These stand out because they offer 100% principal protection guaranteed by highly rated insurance companies.
Principal protection is huge.
It is. They also provide upside without downside. You participate when the market goes up, but you're fully protected from losses when it goes down.
Upside potential with no downside risk. How does that work?
It's through option strategies bought by the insurance company. And crucially, any annual gains you make are locked in, creating what's described as an elevator that only goes up. Your account value never falls below previous gains.
The locked-in gains, okay.
This offers incredible emotional scaffolding through market volatility, helping you stay calm. And they often come with guaranteed lifetime income riders, ensuring you can't outlive your money. Look for FIAs with low or no fees and transparent indexing strategies.
Got it. Now the myth. You got to take huge risks to get big rewards.
The gambler's mentality applied to investing.
Right. Leads people to speculate wildly. But our sources challenge this directly, stating unequivocally, nothing could be further from the truth.
So high risk isn't required for high reward.
Not according to the masters. The world's top financial leaders, from Warren Buffett to Paul Tudor Jones, operate by two simple rules. Rule 1, don't lose money.
The cardinal rule.
And Rule 2, see Rule 1. Their secret, the core of their strategy, is relentlessly looking for asymmetric risk-reward.
Asymmetric risk-reward, meaning?
Opportunities where the reward is drastically disproportionate to the risk, they risk very little for the potential of massive upside.
Low risk, high potential reward. That sounds like the holy grail.
It does, doesn't it? And that's a concept that sounds simple, but it's fundamentally transformative. It's like getting a $100,000 MBA in a nutshell, as they put it.
So how does that work in practice?
Well, the sources share the incredible story of J. Kyle Bass. He turned a calculated $30 million investment into an astounding $2 billion by making a very precise bet against the housing bubble before it burst.
Risked $30 million to make $2 billion. That's asymmetry.
Exactly. Risk relatively little for colossal potential upside. Bass even taught his sons to make riskless investments buying nickels because their metal value provided a risk-free 36% return with potentially 100% future upside, demonstrating the principles.
Finding edges everywhere.
Right. The sources introduce accessible tools like market-linked CDs and structured notes. These offer principal protection while allowing participation in market gains, sometimes with much higher returns than traditional CDs, like Ajay Gupta getting 8% in 2009 when CDs paid almost nothing.
So principal protection plus market upside.
Yeah. And they also highlight private placement life insurance, PPLI, considered the secret of the affluent. Wrapping investments inside this structure can result in more than 4 times or 400% as much money over 40 years just by using the tax code strategically.
Serious tax advantages.
Very serious. The absolute key takeaway from these masters is clear. Defense is 10 times more important than offense.
Defense over offense.
Because if you lose 50%, it takes 100% to get back to where you started, and that takes something you can never get back. Time. Protecting your capital is absolutely paramount. Okay, so we've busted the external myths. But what does this all truly mean for you listening? Our sources make a compelling, critical argument. The ultimate thing that stops most of us from making significant progress isn't external limits, it's our own limiting perceptions or beliefs.
The internal game.
Exactly. We all carry these internal narratives, these stories we tell ourselves. I'm not smart enough, it's too late for me, the system is rigged, why bother? These stories, even if they contain a kernel of truth, too often become self-fulfilling prophecies.
They stop us from taking action, even with the right plan.
Precisely. They stop us before we even start sometimes.
That's the heart of the matter, isn't it? And it compels us to ask a crucial question. What story are you telling yourself about money and success right now?
Yeah, what's that inner monologue?
If you have access to the right strategy, but still find yourself hesitating, not taking action, it's often because you've subconsciously created a story about why it won't work for you specifically.
It feels personal.
It does. The sources give compelling examples, like Dr. Kelly McGonigal's research on stress. If you believe stress is harmful, it can dramatically increase your risk of dying by 43%.
Wow.
But if you believe it energizes you and helps you perform, that risk effectively disappears. It's all about how you interpret your experiences.
The power of belief.
Immense power. The author shares his own raw, honest experience. After losing everything financially, hitting the lowest point of my life, living on the floor of a 400-square-foot bachelor apartment in Venice, California.
Rock bottom.
Totally. Blaming others. Gaining 38 pounds. Watching endless daytime TV. It was in that moment, with his last $19, that he had a profound breakthrough.
What changed?
He realized he had to stop blaming and focus intensely on what he could control. I could improve myself. I could find a way to serve, a way to do more, a way to become better, a way to add value to the marketplace.
Taking responsibility.
Adding value. That's the essence of why success, particularly financial success, is described as 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. The ultimate truth revealed is that true transformation happens in a moment. A decisive trigger where you draw a line in the sand, commit to a new standard, and consciously let go of those disempowering stories.
Okay, now that we've diligently cleared away much of that mental clutter, debunked those pervasive myths, it's time to shift gears and precisely set your specific financial targets.
Getting concrete about the goals.
Exactly. Most people, as our sources keenly observe, have no idea how much money they'll need to achieve genuine financial security, independence, and ultimate freedom. The numbers swirling in their heads are often so intimidating and vague
That they just shut down.
Avoidance. Right. They never even start a concrete plan. It leads to a form of quiet denial, like avoiding the scale when you know you've gained weight. There's a fear of the unknown number.
That's a powerful point about the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It brings us to a foundational question. What's the actual precise price of your dreams?
Okay, how do you figure that out?
Our sources introduce a practical wealth calculator, readily available as an app. It's specifically designed to help you define precise income goals for distinct stages. First, financial security. Covering your basic living needs like housing, food, utilities, transport, insurance.
The essentials covered. Peace of mind.
Exactly. Then financial independence, allowing you to live the lifestyle you truly desire. Maybe adding things like entertainment, dining out, nicer vacations, without needing to actively work.
Living well without the job.
Right. And finally, financial freedom. Absolute freedom to do anything, anytime, limited only by your imagination. Maybe luxury travel, major philanthropy, starting a passion business.
The ultimate goal. So the calculator helps define these numbers.
Precisely. They use a compelling example. Ron and Michelle, a couple earning 500 ouchies was spending 350Ks. They thought they needed a truly massive sum.
Like tens of millions?
Probably. But by meticulously breaking down their actual dream, which included donating $100K a year to their church, getting a fishing boat, buying a ski condo, they realized they needed an investment income of $515,000 a year.
Okay.
Which, based on conservative investment returns, would require about $10.2 million in their money machine, their investment portfolio.
$10.2 million, still a lot, but...
But it was roughly half of what Ron had initially thought. This powerfully demonstrates that your dreams may be closer than you think. Clarity, precisely defined goals, is the ultimate power in effective financial planning.
Knowing the target makes it achievable. Okay, so once you know your number, that precise target, the next question is how do you get there faster?
Accelerating the journey.
Right. Our sources outline 5 potent ways to significantly speed up your plan. The first, and often most accessible, is simply to save more.
Sounds obvious, but it's crucial.
It is, and this isn't about painful, restrictive budgeting. It's about adopting a conscious spending plan that strategically prioritizes joy and your future freedom.
Finding the balance.
Exactly. Think about David Bach's famous latte factor. That seemingly insignificant $4 daily coffee could, over 20 years at 6% interest, compound to over $56,500 of savings.
56 grand from coffee?
Yeah. Boost that habit to just $10 a day, maybe coffee plus lunch out, and it balloons to over $141,250 in savings over 20 years. That's roughly the entire cost of a 4-year college education today.
Wow. Small leaks sink big ships.
Totally. It's about meticulously identifying those small purchases that we don't even consider and consciously reallocating that money towards your freedom fund. Lisa's story, sending pictures of must-have items to her husband to find cheaper prices online, illustrates how these small changes add up.
That's a fantastic demonstration of how micro decisions lead to macro results. And connecting this to the broader picture of conscious choices beyond small daily habits, the sources point to even bigger opportunities.
Like what?
Consider something like prepaying your mortgage. It could literally cut its life in half and save you hundreds of thousands in interest. Or reevaluating significant car expenses. Angela, a real-life example, traded in her old car. Seemed minor, but saved her $400 a month.
$400 a month is almost $5,000 a year.
Exactly, which she then diligently put towards her savings, dramatically accelerating her path by years. So this raises a compelling question for you. Where else in your life can you consciously axe expenses that no longer give you significant value or genuine joy?
Finding those leaks.
And another incredibly powerful accelerator, change your life and lifestyle for good by strategically moving.
Moving house.
Could be. Relocating to a less expensive city or a tax-friendly state can literally give you a 10% to 30% increase in your income just from lower living costs. Or even cutting your cost of living by a third or in half if you consider beautiful, yet remarkably affordable places overseas like Bali, Fiji, or Prague.
That's a huge impact without earning more.
A massive impact. This single decision can dramatically amplify your savings rate.
Okay, so accelerator 1, save more, cut costs. What's the second accelerator?
Accelerator 2, earn more.
Right, make more money.
But the sources wisely emphasize that while simply working harder helps, true acceleration, the kind that creates exponential growth, comes from adding more value to the marketplace.
Adding more value? How?
This is especially crucial today, where startlingly, almost half of America's occupations are at risk of becoming automated within the next 2 decades. It's not just about asking for a raise, it's about proactively retooling yourself, acquiring new skills, adapting for a future that demands different competencies.
So investing in yourself.
Absolutely. That's a profound call to action. What's truly inspiring here is the call to retool your skill set and consciously strive to become a creator rather than just a consumer of technology and economic trends.
Creator, not consumer.
Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs points out a vital truth. Millions of well-paying jobs are available, but only 10% require a 4-year degree. The other 90% need training, skill, or a willingness to get dirty and learn new trades or apply existing ones innovatively.
Skills over just degrees sometimes.
Often, yes. It's about investing in yourself. Think of Nick Woodman, creator of GoPro. He didn't invent it to get rich. He created it because he wanted one himself to film his surfing. He got in front of a trend of sharing digital content and built a billion-dollar enterprise solving his own problem.
Found a need and filled it.
Or Ki-hoon, putting his teaching classes online to reach millions globally, not just 30 in a classroom. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, started with $5,000, created a whole new product category by adding value.
Incredible examples.
They powerfully demonstrate that investing in your own growth, finding innovative ways to do more for others than anyone else was doing, is the most powerful path to abundance. Shifting from wage earner to someone who attracts wealth by solving problems.
Okay, so goals are clear, savings and earning strategies are in place. Now we arrive at arguably the biggest investment decision of your life. Where do you put your money and in what proportions?
Asset allocation, the big one.
Right. This critical decision is known as asset allocation, and it's far from just technical jargon. It is the absolute key, as every Nobel Prize winner, every hedge fund manager, every top institutional investor, bar none, told me.
Everyone agrees on this.
Seems so. It's essentially the ultimate bucket list for your money, determining how resilient and effective your wealth-building engine will be over the long haul.
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
And it compels us to ask, why is asset allocation so incredibly critical?
Yeah, what makes it the key?
Proper asset allocation fundamentally means dividing your investments into two distinct yet complementary categories.
Yeah.
First, a security peace of mind bucket. This is the capital you simply cannot afford to lose without, a cold sweat.
Safe money?
Exactly. And second, a risk growth bucket dedicated to greater potential returns and long-term wealth creation. It's about balancing safety and growth.
Security and growth buckets.
Consider David Swensen, who famously grew Yale's endowment from $1 billion to over $23.9 billion. He favors a strategic 70% equities growth, 30% fixed income security mix for long time horizons, noting that equities will produce superior returns over long periods.
So mostly growth for the long term.
For long horizons, yes. But crucially, for the security bucket, he uses highly reliable instruments. U.S. Treasury bonds for robust deflation protection, and Treasury inflation-protected securities, TIPS, for essential inflation protection.
Specific tools for specific jobs.
Precisely. His portfolio's remarkable performance during the volatile 1997-2014 period is a testament to this. It significantly outperformed the S&P 500, returning 7.86% annually, and only lost about 4.6% during the brutal 2000-2002 bear market. That shows a potent blend of growth and defense. It helps you get wealthy and stay wealthy.
Staying wealthy is key. Okay, and this next insight sounds like a real game changer. It comes from Ray Dalio, right? Built a $14 billion fortune, manages $160 billion.
Yeah, Dalio's insights are legendary. Bridgewater Associates.
He observed that typical portfolios, like the common 50% stocks, 50% bonds mix, are fundamentally not balanced. Why? Because stocks are 3 times more risky, aka volatile, than bonds.
So a 50-50 split by dollars isn't a 50-50 split by risk.
Exactly. He stresses that relying on hope is not a strategy for your family's well-being, especially after 2008 ruthlessly exposed that all asset classes can plummet together, disproving assumptions about diversification.
That was a wake-up call. So what's Dalio's solution?
That's a crucial reframe. What's truly revolutionary about Dalio's insight is his understanding that every investment has an ideal environment in which it flourishes. In other words, there's a season for everything.
Economic seasons, like.
He meticulously identified 4 distinct economic seasons: periods of rising or falling inflation, and periods of rising or falling economic growth. 4 quadrants.
Okay, inflation up or down, growth up or down.
Right. His brilliant all-seasons portfolio is ingeniously designed to allocate 25% of your risk in each of these 4 categories. Not 25% of the money, but 25% of the risk.
Balanced by risk, not dollars. That's clever.
Isn't it? It ensures that no matter what economic conditions prevail, a significant portion of your portfolio is strategically positioned to thrive, while others act as a hedge.
So something should always be working, theoretically.
That's the idea. And the historical results, tested robustly back to 1925, are astonishing. It produced nearly 10% annually, 9.88% to be exact, net of fees, for the last 40 years.
Nearly 10% a year for 40 years. That's incredible consistency.
And remarkably, it made money 85% of the time, experiencing a practical loss only 4 times in 40 years. This contrasts sharply with a traditional 60-40 portfolio, which would have suffered a devastating 33% loss from 2010 alone.
Wow, that stability is huge. So it brings up a vital consideration. Can you emotionally stomach another 2008 without panicking and selling at the bottom?
Most people can't, right? That's when mistakes happen.
Exactly. The all-seasons portfolio provides that emotional scaffolding to protect you from making poor, fear-driven decisions. Its worst down year in 75 years was only 3.93%.
Less than 4% loss in the worst year. That's resilience.
Incredible resilience. It allows you to stay invested, ride out the storms, and avoid those common pitfalls of emotional investing.
Okay, so let's explore the specific financial instruments that actually populate these strategic buckets, the security and growth buckets. We've touched on index funds and some annuities, but what else is in the toolbox?
Absolutely. Beyond the broad categories, the masters deploy specific, tailored tools. Let's break some down.
Great.
First, bonds. These are fundamental fixed income investments, basically an IOU from a borrower or government corporation promising to pay back principal plus interest.
The security part of the portfolio often?
Often, yes. Sources discuss various types. U.S. Treasuries, considered the purest security, backed by the U.S. government, great for deflation. Then TIPS Treasury inflation-protected securities specifically protect against inflation.
Covering both deflation and inflation risk.
Right. Also, municipal bonds, often tax-exempt, but with their own risks, like city bankruptcies. Corporate bonds offer higher yields, more risk. And at the risky end, high-yield junk bonds for higher risk-reward. The key is their role in providing fixed income and stability, primarily for that security bucket.
Okay. Bonds. What else?
CDs, certificates of deposit. You loan money to a bank, fixed period, fixed rate, usually FDIC insured, very safe.
But often low return, right?
Traditional CDs, yes, especially in low-interest environments, can be about as exciting as a savings account. But there's an innovative type, market-linked CDs. These can participate in market gains, like an index, with 100% principal protection.
Upside potential, FDIC insured.
Exactly. Potentially offering over 20 times the return of a traditional CD,
Right.
like Jay Gupta's 8% return in 2009. A unique way to get market exposure without downside risk in that security bucket.
Interesting. What about real estate?
For diversified real estate, without being a landlord, there are REITs, real estate investment trusts. Publicly traded companies owning or financing income-producing real estate offices, malls, apartments, even things like senior living facilities, which sources call a demographic inevitability.
So you get exposure without the hassle.
Right. They offer both dividends, income, and potential capital appreciation, 2 ways to win. Sources also briefly mention first trust deeds for accredited investors, lending against real estate securely.
Okay. How about ETFs? We hear a lot about those.
ETFs, exchange-traded funds, they're like mutual funds but trade on exchanges like stocks all day. They offer tremendous diversity at a low cost, often lower fees and minimums than traditional funds.
And tax efficient.
Often very tax efficient because they don't trade frequently internally, which triggers capital gains in mutual funds. Great for broad, low-cost exposure.
Good tool. Life insurance came up too, but not just for death benefit.
Right. Beyond traditional term life for family protection, sources emphasize specific types. Notably, private placement life insurance, PPLI, generally the secret of the affluent.
Why secret?
Complex, high minimums usually. But it can provide tax-free income for life and enormous tax efficiency. Identical investments can grow potentially 400% more over decades compared to taxable accounts just by using the tax code strategically. A sophisticated wealth tool.
Wow. And structured notes. Sound complex.
Structured notes are intricate engineered safety products. You lend money to a bank, get back principal, plus a percentage of an index's gains, often with 100% downside protection.
Again, principal protection with upside.
Yes. Different types exist. Some for the security bucket, full protection. Others for growth, partial protection, maybe 25%. For a higher potential upside, like 150% participation. Favored by the ultra-wealthy for tailored risk-reward.
Okay, lots of tools. But as we talk about these strategies, it's crucial not to forget the dream bucket.
Ah, yes, enjoying the journey.
Exactly. While it's vital to save and grow money strategically, you shouldn't neglect rewarding yourself along the way. Our sources wisely suggest putting aside a tiny percent of your risk growth bucket, maybe just 5% or 10%, specifically to fulfill dreams and experiences on the path to freedom.
Not just deferring everything.
Right. The author shares his own example of buying and developing his Fiji resort, which Oprah later named her #1 place to go. It's not about extravagance necessarily, but about living your life fully on your path to financial freedom.
That provides essential motivation, doesn't it? The why behind the saving.
Totally. That small allocation provides emotional juice, a reminder of the purpose.
That's a perfect segue into timing and rebalancing. Maximizing returns, minimizing losses. Now, many experts say timing the market is impossible.
Yeah, you hear that all the time.
But our sources offer strategies that minimize risk related to market timing. One key concept is dollar cost averaging. Investing fixed amounts regularly.
Right. Investing consistently regardless of market highs or lows.
Exactly. Now, what's really insightful here is that while technically lump sum investing has outperformed dollar cost averaging more than 2/3 of the time historically.
Oh, really? Lump sum is often better.
Statistically, yes, by about 2.3% on average over rolling 10-year periods. But dollar-cost averaging significantly reduces behavioral risk.
The emotional risk.
Precisely. It prevents that paralyzing regret of investing everything right before a crash. And it allows you to continue making money, even in challenging lost decades like 2010, where lump sum lost 10%, but dollar-cost averaging actually gained.
So it smooths the ride and keeps you invested.
Exactly. It brings up that critical behavioral consideration. Are you prepared for the emotional roller coaster? Dollar-cost averaging mitigates that powerful trap.
Okay, building on that defense strategy, another critical tool is rebalancing.
Keeping the portfolio aligned with your targets.
Right. Periodically adjusting to maintain your target asset allocation. If one asset class, say tech stocks, surges and throws your portfolio out of balance,
You sell some of the winner.
and buy more of the underperforming ones, bringing it back to target percentages. Think of the Apple stock example. If Apple surged in 2012, dominating your portfolio, rebalancing by selling some would have helped avoid the 41% loss when it later plummeted.
Selling high, buying low. Sounds simple, but hard emotionally.
Totally counterintuitive sometimes. Feels wrong to sell the winner.
Exactly. This rebalancing process, while sometimes painful emotionally, demonstrably increases your probabilities of success over the long term. It's proactive protection against overexposure.
Prevents putting all your eggs in one hot basket.
Precisely. And if this rigorous adjustment feels a little intimidating or time-consuming, the good news is this work can be done for you automatically by Stronghold or any other fiduciary advisor.
Automation helps remove emotion too.
Definitely. Additionally, sources discuss tax loss harvesting, selling investments at a loss specifically to offset capital gains elsewhere, reducing your tax burden.
Turning lemons into lemonade tax-wise.
You got it. Turning a market dip or a bad pick into a tax advantage. Maximizing returns and minimizing losses across all conditions.
Okay, you've meticulously analyzed strategies, investment tools, decoded complex concepts. But now, let's pivot and loop back to the profound human element underlying all of this.
The mindset piece.
Exactly. Why do people, even with the right strategy in front of them, still often not succeed? Our sources insist, quite powerfully, that 80% of success in life is psychology and 20% is mechanics.
80% psychology. That's huge.
Isn't it? The core reason for inaction or not reaching potential is often the insidious power of story, those deeply ingrained limiting beliefs we've woven into a narrative about why it won't work for us.
Those internal scripts we run.
Yeah, I don't make enough money, it's too late for someone my age, the system is rigged against people like me.
That's a crucial observation. And it brings us to a deeply personal and transformative question. What's your story about money and success?
What narrative are you living?
If you possess the perfect strategy, the ideal blueprint, but still find yourself hesitating or failing to take consistent action, it's often because you've subconsciously constructed that narrative about why it won't work for you.
The story becomes the barrier.
It does. The sources provide compelling examples of the mind's power. Like Dr. McGonagall's stress research. Believe stress is harmful, and it can increase your risk of dying by 43%. Believe it energizes you, the risk disappears.
Mind over matter, literally.
It strongly suggests it. Your interpretation fundamentally changes the impact. The author himself shares his raw personal experience, hitting the lowest point of my life, living on the floor of a 400-square-foot bachelor apartment.
The story he shared earlier.
Right, blaming everyone, gaining weight, watching daytime TV. His breakthrough came when he stopped blaming and focused intensely on what he could control. I could improve myself. I could find a way to serve, add value.
Shifting focus from blame to action.
That's it. It powerfully echoes Jim Rohn's philosophy. Your income will rarely exceed your own personal development. It's fundamentally about cultivating an empowered state where problems are seen not as roadblocks, but as speed bumps on the road to your dreams.
Changing the internal state changes the external results.
That's the core message.
So if financial mastery is achieved, if you reach that pinnacle of security and freedom, what then? Is that the end goal?
A great question. Our sources offer a powerful reminder. Being the richest man in the graveyard is not the goal.
Good point.
There are, in fact, many kinds of wealth: emotional, relational, intellectual, physical, spiritual. Focusing obsessively on only one, like financial,
At the expense of the others.
is described as the biggest mistake one can make. True wealth is holistic, deeply fulfilling, not just numerical accumulation.
A richer definition of rich.
Exactly. That's a profound reorientation. What's truly insightful here is the deep emphasis on gratitude. Sir John Templeton, legendary investor and philanthropist, believed fundamentally, if you've got $1 billion and you're ungrateful, you're a poor man. If you have very little but you're grateful for what you have, you're truly rich.
Gratitude equals wealth, regardless of the bank balance.
That's his view. It connects to the psychological phenomenon of priming, how our environment, beliefs, subtle cues affect our perceptions and experiences. The sources share that fascinating study. Holding a hot versus iced coffee influenced how subjects describe someone as warm or cold.
Wow, subtle cues have big effects.
Suggests that consciously cultivating gratitude can literally rewire your brain for greater fulfillment, starting from appreciation for what you have, rather than just ceaselessly striving for more.
Start from a place of abundance. And here's maybe the ultimate financial secret revealed by extensive research: investing in others.
Giving back.
Studies consistently show that giving our money away actually makes us really happy. And the more you have, the more you are able to give. It's a virtuous cycle.
Giving creates happiness, which fuels more success, which allows more giving.
Exactly. Research by Dunn and Norton powerfully demonstrates that spending money on others brings significantly happier moods and even objective health benefits, regardless of the gift size or the giver's income. The satisfaction is greater and more lasting than spending on oneself.
That's a truly inspiring conclusion to our deep dive. And it leads us to a vital question for you listening. What's your passion for giving?
How do you want to contribute?
The sources highlight financial titans like T. Boone Pickens, aiming to give away $1 billion, tweeting his giving exceeded his net worth, and Sir John Templeton urging, do not try to be a go-getter, try to be a go-giver. Both found that true meaning in life comes from giving.
Finding purpose beyond accumulation.
Precisely. The author shares his impactful 100 million meal challenge, partnering with Feeding America and Swipeout, allowing you to effortlessly give away your spare change to combat hunger, disease, even slavery globally, noting that just pennies on the dollar can provide millions of meals.
Making it easy to make a difference.
It's about realizing that life isn't just about me, it's about we, and that the act of giving profoundly liberates the soul of the giver, creating a deeper, more resonant form of wealth that truly lasts. #outro.
Wow. What an extraordinary journey we've been on together today.
It really covered a lot of ground.
Didn't it? From systematically debunking those deeply ingrained financial myths to understanding the deepest, most resilient strategies of the world's money masters, and then shifting our focus to the very purpose of wealth itself.
From mechanics to meaning.
Exactly. We've uncovered that true financial mastery isn't just about the intricate mechanics of investing. It's profoundly about your psychology, your core beliefs, and your unwavering willingness to commit to a new, higher standard for your life.
That 80% psychology piece.
Right. You now possess a clear blueprint for setting your financial goals, understanding the often hidden true costs of investing, discovering powerful defensive tools like the All Seasons portfolio and certain FIAs, and, maybe most importantly, recognizing the profound impact of your own mindset and daily choices.
That's a fantastic summary. So the crucial question for you now, listening, is how will you translate this powerful knowledge into decisive action?
Because knowledge isn't power unless it's used.
Exactly. Remember the core truth. Action is where all your power is found. Whether it's taking that first step to recalculate your personal financial freedom number with the Wealth Calculator app,
Getting that clarity on your target.
or exploring low-cost index funds to align with the market, understanding how certain annuities can provide truly guaranteed income, seeking out a fiduciary advisor through resources like Stronghold Financial mentioned earlier,
Taking those practical steps.
or simply reassessing your daily latte factor to free up capital. These insights are designed to be applied, not just observed. We've mentioned resources like America's Best 401k for checking plan fees, Lifetime Income for income planning, all offering support and tools to help you implement these powerful strategies.
So, as we draw this deep dive to a close, I'm left pondering. What does this all ultimately mean for your future? If you've learned that the greatest financial leaders prioritize defense over offense, meticulously protecting their capital, and that true wealth extends far beyond the bank account to a life brimming with meaning and genuine contribution, what single story about money or your own capabilities will you choose to rewrite today?
What shift will you make?
What definitive step will you take next towards your own abundant and fulfilling future?
Don't just aspire to get rich. Start rich. Wake up to the profound beauty and abundance of your life today.
Thanks for tuning in to the Book Summary Podcast. If you found value in today's episode, hit that like button. Subscribe for more summaries and share it with someone who's ready to grow. Want deeper insights, exclusive book notes, and reading tips? Join our free newsletter. The link's in the description. And don't forget, if you'd like to read the full book, our affiliate link is right below. It helps support the channel and keeps the summaries coming. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing.